In this video, we're going to go through on Methodist Girls' School Primary Preliminary Examination 2024 Primary 6 Mathematics Paper 2. So let's get started. So question 1, it says here the figure shows three counters A, B, and C placed in a square grid. So usually when you see this, I'll usually like to put north, south, and then we have east over here, and then we have west on the other side. Okay, so part A says John places counter X such that it is northeast of A, right? So northeast is roughly around here. Okay, so I'm going to draw an arrow, something like this. Okay, northeast of A like this, and then northwest of B. So northwest of B here. So mark the position counter X. As you can see, I think you probably can put the counter X like this. Okay, so there you go. That's the answer. Okay, so northeast and northwest, or northwest and northeast. Okay, let's move to part B. Amy placed counter Y on one of the squares in the grid. She moved it two squares north and then two squares east so that it landed on the same square as counter C. Mark the original position of counter Y in the grid above by writing Y in the correct square. So counter C is over here. So he mentioned that uh, she moved it two squares north. Two squares north means from C, you do below, lah, right? Two squares north is down below here. Okay. And then two squares east. So east, that means go to the west. So two squares east like this. Okay, something like this. So two squares north is 1 and 2, like this, right? B. And two squares east is somewhere here. Okay, so that means the answer is this. Why? Okay, so there you go. That's the answer to both of these question over here. Okay, let's move to the next question. Question number 2. Mr. Lim is 12 and years old. He is now 3 times as old as his son. How many years old will Mr. Lim be when his son is 25 years old? So we know that is Mr. Lim is equal to 12 n years old. So give your answer in terms of n, right? And then he is now 3 times as old as his son. So his son over here is 3 times younger. So 12n, kn divided by 3 will be 4n. Okay, so if you want your son to be 0 years old, right? Or if son be 0 years old, that means you need to minus 4n years minus 4n years. So that means Mr. Lim will be 2n will be 2n 12n minus 4n, which is equal to 8n years old, right? If son be 0 years old, then that means son is equal son is equal to 4n minus 4n equal to 0 years old. So Mr. Lim will also, when son is 0 years old, Mr. Lim will be, okay, like that. And then lastly, from here, if son is 25 years old, right, then son will then be 25 years old. And when son is not 0 years old, but 25 years old, okay, so I think I can move this over here. Okay, so let me just move this whole text over here, right? So if son is 25 years old, this is this, okay? And then when son is 25 years old, right, then Mr. Lim will be 8n plus 25 years old. Right, so the answer to this question is uh this one. There you go. So 8n plus 25 years old. 8n plus 25 lah, basically. Right? There you go. All right. So let's move to the next question. Question number 3. Okay, in the figure, A, B, C, and C, D, E, F are rhombus. Okay, they are equal. So find A, E, F. Okay, so A, E, and F. Right. So we know that to get A, E, F, we need to get this angle, right? F, E, C, and this big angle as well. Right. So I think for this angle, we probably know, right? It's actually 69 degrees, right? Degrees over here, right? This big angle is 69 degrees. And then we also need to get this angle, right? So let me choose another color, maybe light blue. Okay, we need to choose this. We need to get this angle, right? So since this is a, let me put in black, this is a rhombus, right? Okay, so we can get DEC, FED, FEC, sorry. Okay, so first I say angle AEC. So angle ABC, all right, is equal to angle AEC, which is equal to 69 degrees. So I see over here. So opposite angle of rhombus is the same. All right. Okay, so this is 69 degrees. Then after that, we want to get angle FEC. So angle EFC is equal to angle, in this case over here, EDC. EDC, which means it's also equal to 78 degrees, right? Which is also the opposite angle of rhombus is the same. Oops. Rom- da, 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 da. Okay, rhombus is the same. All right, so I'll just put the angle here as 78 degrees. 78 degrees. Okay, so I see over here. I'll put 69 on top. This. Okay, so then at the same time, this and this angle are the same as well. So, I mean, this is a bit, it looks a bit awkward. So I'm just gonna put like this and this. Oops, this and this. Okay, so EFEC angle FEC is equal to 180 minus 78, and then we divide it by 2. Oops, divide it by 2. Okay, so we can use our calculator. So 180 divided by minus 78 is equal to 102 divided by 2, 51 degrees. That's what I see over here, right? So in this case, this blue one is 51 degrees. That's what you see over here. Okay, so now we can get the angle AEF. So angle AEF is equal to 69 minus 51. This will give us 18 degrees. Oops, that's what we see over here. Right, so that's the answer, 18 degrees. Okay, oops. Right, let's move to the next question. Question number 4. Okay, so 1/6 of the rectangle PQRS and 2/5 of the triangle QTU is shaded. What percentage of the figure is shaded? So this is equal fraction concept, right? So what this means is basically 1/6, right, of rectangle PQRS is equal to 2/5 of triangle QTU. So that means we just, let me write this down. Step 1 is to convert numerators to be the same. Okay, so I'm gonna make this small. Okay, step one is to convert the numerators to be the same. So that means for this will then become, oops, this is also okay. So this will then become 12 and then 2. Okay, 2 over 12. All right, so from this, step 2, okay, if you remember, step 2 is to convert denominators to units, right? So we have, in this case, for rectangle PQRS, okay, this will then become 12 units, right? For rectangle PQRS is equal to 12 units, and then triangle QTU, right, over here will then become 5 units. All right, so now we know how many units are there. Okay, so since they overlap, okay, so let me put this like this. So total is equal to 12 plus 5 minus 2, right? Okay, and this will then become 15. Okay, I'm gonna write here, right? We minus 2 because it's overlap, right? In this case over here, right? We over minus 2 because overlap. Okay, so then the total is 15. So percentage of shaded is equal to what percentage of the figure is shaded? So it's basically 2 out of 15, right? Times 100%, which is basically, if you calculate, right, the 2 out of 15 times, 2 out of 15 times 100, it will be 13.333 or 13, right? What percentage of the figure? 13.3, I guess, 0.33%. Right? They didn't tell us what, but sure, I'm going to round up to 13.33%. Okay, there you go. That's the answer. Hopefully, this is the answer. All right, let's move on to the next question. Question number 5. Okay, so question 5 says the pie chart shows the favorite ice cream flavors of 380 pupils from a survey. Okay, the number of pupils who like strawberry is 1/3 of the number of pupils who like vanilla. The number of pupils who like chocolate is the same total numbers of pupils who like strawberry and vanilla. How many pupils like vanilla? Okay, so in this case, we can take the students who don't like cookies, cookies and cream, which is basically 380 times, then you put 100 minus 60 bracket percent. Okay, so let's do the calculation. 380 times 40 percent. What's my percent? This will then become 152. Okay, so it says here strawberry. Strawberry is 1/3 of vanilla, which means in units, uh, strawberry, wait, okay, is equal to 1 unit, and then vanilla is equal to 3 units. Okay, and then also chocolate is the same as strawberry and vanilla. So that means chocolate is equal to 3 plus 1 equal to 4 units. Okay, so total of strawberry, right, vanilla and chocolate is equal to 1 plus 3 plus 4 equal to 8 units. So that means 8 units is equal to, right, 152. Okay, we want the vanilla. Vanilla is 3 units, which is equal to 152 divided by 8 times 3. Okay, 152 divided by 8 times 3, it will become 57. There you go. So that's the answer. The answer is 57. All right, let's move to the next question. Question number 6. All right, question number 6. The diagram below shows the net of a cuboid with a square base. So what does it look like? Okay, so square base with a cuboid will look something like this. Okay, and then you have like, this is a very long length. Okay, so I'm going to copy this, paste it over here, right? Oops. Other than that, should be fine. So square base is basically same length and breadth. Okay, so what is the height of the cuboid, which is basically this whole thing, right? This is the height. Okay, so this whole thing is the height. Okay, so first is that we get our side of the square. So I'll just put here as s. So let s be side of square, right? So we have 1s, we have 2s, right? And then we have 3s, nice s. Okay, so we want the height to be here as well. So this is the height that we want here. There you go. Okay, so from this first one, 3 sides is equal to, let me just put arrow, 21. One side is equal to 21 divided by, right, oops, divided by 3 is equal to 7. Okay, then since we know this is an s as well, s, not x, s, no, not d, s, oh no. Okay, and this is also s, and this is height as well. So that means 48 centimeters is equal to 2 height, 2 times height plus 2 times sides. Okay, so that means 48 is equal to 2 times height plus 2 times 7, which is equal to 2 times 14. 2 times height plus 14. Okay, 14, right? So 2 height is equal to 48 minus 14 will be 34. Okay, 1 height is equal to 34 divided by 2. This will give us 17 centimeters. Okay, so that's the answer. The height is 17 centimeters. Okay, there you go. I'll just put 2 height lah, so it's easier. 2 height. Okay, so now next question, part B. What is the volume of the cuboid? So we know that this height is 17 centimeters and the side over here is 7 centimeters. I'll just put like this, 7, and then we have 7, and then we have the side is 17. So volume is equal to length times breadth times height. It's equal to length is 7 times 7 times 17. This will give you, let me use the calculator, 7 times 7 times 17. Okay, this will give you 833 centimeter cube. Oops, over here. All right, so yep, there you go. That's the answer. 833 centimeter cube. All right, let's move to the next question. Question 7. The line graph shows the amount of electricity used by the Wong family from January to June. So part A says find the percentage decrease in the amount of electricity used from February to March. So let's get February. But before that, we need to know the gaps. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so we have 5 gaps. That's equal to the first number shown, not 0 but 50. So one gap is equal to 50 divided by 5, which is equal to 10 in this case over here. I'm gonna write down here. Okay, so February, since one line is 10, February is 20. I'm just gonna draw a line over here. So this will then be 26270. So I'm gonna write this down as 270. Okay, and then what about March? March is over here, which is below 250. That means this is 240. Right, 240. Okay, so with that said, the decrease, right, decrease is equal to 270. No, not 280. 270 minus 240. This will give us 30. So the decrease from February, so decrease percentage is equal to 30 out of 270 times 100%. Okay, so 30 divided by 270 times 100. So in a way it's 11 point. What is with this? I'm just going to put 11%. Okay, there we go. That's the answer, 11.11%. Alright, so part B, it says here, in which month was the amount of electricity used 3/4 that of the amount of electricity used in April? Okay, so let's calculate April. So April over here is somewhere here, right? So April, this is 270, 280, right? So April is 280, right? Oops, okay. And then let's do the rest. Okay, but basically what is the number we're looking for? So 3/4 3/4 of April is equal to 3/4 times what's April? 280. 280. Okay, so 3 out of 4 times 280, 210. So we're looking for 210. Do we find 210? Nope, not yet. This 200. I think it's June. Let's try June over here. Yes, it is. So I'm going to put it as this. So June is 210. Okay, so there you go. The answer to this question is June. June. Okay, part C. The Wong family had to pay 9% GST on top of charges for electricity use. Electricity is charged at 0.15 cents per unit. How much did they pay for the electricity used in May? So what's May? Okay. Gotta do all the, what do you call this? Calculation. Okay. So for May, let's see, May is 310, 320. So May is 320. Right. Okay, so for me, I'm gonna calculate 320. Did I pay somewhere? No, okay. So I would say electricity, right, in me is equal to 320. So total charges for me is equal to 320 times 0.15 is equal to, so 320 multiplied by 0.15 $48. So choice for me plus 9% GST, not 99% GST is equal to 48 times 109%, 48 times 109%, $52.32. Okay, this is percent, this is dollars. So it's $52.32. Okay, there you go. All right. Let's move on to the next question. Question number 8. Aaron and Benny and Charlie had some marbles. Aaron gave 2/5 of his marbles to Benny and 1/4 of the remainder to Charlie. In the end, all of them had the same number of marbles. What fraction of his marbles did Aaron have left? So part A says what fraction? Okay, first, Aaron, right, gave to Benny is 2/5. So that means he is left with 1 minus 2/5, which is 3/5. Okay, so or remainder, remainder is equal to 3/5. So give to Charlie is basically 1/4 of the remainder times 3/5, which is basically 3 out of 20. So from that, remainder is 3/5. Give to Charlie 1/4. Okay, wait. Give to Charlie 1/4 of remainder. Easier is left is left is equal to 1 minus 1/4 is equal to 3/4 of remainder. Okay, so that means left is equal to 3/4 times 3/5, which is equal to 9/20. So the answer is 9/20. All right, let's move on to the next question. Part B. What was the ratio of number of marbles Aaron had to the number of marbles Benny had to the number of marbles Charlie had at first? Okay, so to do this, we know that Aaron over here, right? Aaron left 9 out of 20, so that means convert fractions to units. So that means Aaron total was 20 units, right? And then units, Aaron left Aaron left is 9 units. So that means each Aaron left 9. So each, or I would say Benny in the end got 9 units. Right? So we know that Aaron gave 2/5. Right? So Aaron gave Benny 2/5 times 20, which in this case we go to the, let's use the calculator. 2/5 times 20. This will give us 8 units. Okay. So I give Benny 8 units and in the end he got 9 units, right? Because yeah lah, everyone has the same amount. Right, I'm gonna write this. In the end, everyone has the same number, same amount or units, right? So in this case over here, Benny in the end has 9 units. So Benny at first basically had 9 minus 8, which is go to 1 unit. Okay, then at the same time Benny left Charlie. Charlie in the end had 9 units as well, right? So he gave Charlie 1/4 of the remainder. So Charlie Benny gave 1 unit, so remainder Aaron remainder is basically 20 minus, so he gave away 8, right, which is 12 units. So he gave away 3/4 of the remainder. Aaron gave Charlie, right, 3/4 times 12 of the remainder, right? Sorry, 1/4 of the remainder, which is basically 3 units. So that means Charlie at first basically had 9 minus 3, which is 6 units. Okay, so that means Aaron to Benny to Charlie, Benny to Charlie is basically at first 20. Let me make this medium. 20 is 2. So Benny had 1 and then Charlie had 6. There you go. So that's the answer. Aaron and Benny and Charlie. 20 is to 1 is to 6. In this case over here. All right, let's move on to the next question. All right, question 9. So a box of greeting cards was shared equally among 35 pupils. 7 of them gave all their cards to the rest of the pupils. As a result, the rest of the pupils received 3 more cards each. How many cards were there in the box at first? Okay, so 7 of them here gave all their cards to the rest of the pupils over here. Okay, so in this case, additional 3 of them get each. Okay, so we have in one row, I'm just gonna put this. So one row is 7 students, right? So then we have 5 rows. Okay, so this is 4 rows. So yeah lah, yeah. Okay, but you know lah in this case. All right, so which means that um so 7 gave away 3, so that means students number of students who got additional 3 cards is equal to 35 minus 7, which is 28. Okay, so that means the 7 students amount 7 cards amount is equal to 28 times 3, and this will give us uh, 28 times 3, this will give us 84, right, in this case. So 84, because 7 of them give away additional 3 to the rest, right? That means yeah lah, basically 7 students card amount is 84. So if 7 students is equal to 84, then we want to get the total amount, which is 35 pupils, right? Pupils, number of pupils. Pupils are, let's not confuse it. Okay, so 35 pupils at first, right, is equal to 84, and then divided by 7 times 35, which is basically 12 times 35, right? 84 divided by 7 times 35, this will give us 420 cards. And there you go. That's the answer. 420 cards. Okay, let's move to the next question. Question number 10. Okay, Mr. Ahmad left his home at 9:15 a.m. to travel to town B, 261 kilometers away. He drove for 90 kilometers at an average speed of 75 kilometers an hour. He then stopped for 20 minutes meal break before continuing his journey to town B. He reached town B at 12:35 p.m. What was his average speed for the journey after his meal break? Okay, so if I were to draw from one stop to the other stop, so the total distance is 261 kilometers from town A, or home, sorry, home, right, to town B. Okay, town B, right? So you drove 90 km at an average speed of 75 kilometers, right? So let's say this one is 90 kilometers, okay, and this is basically 75 kilometers an hour, right? He then stopped for 20 minutes, okay, in this. So stopped, yeah, stopped for 20 minutes before continuing his journey, right? Then he started at 9:15 a.m. and then he ended at 12:35 p.m. Right, 12:35 p.m. That's what you see over here. Okay, so what is his average speed for the journey after his meal break, which is basically this one, right? Okay, so gotta do that. What is this? What is this km per hour, right? For 20 minutes meal break. All right. Okay, so I think from here we can solve this. Let's make this a little bit smaller. All right, first thing first. After his meal break, okay, we want to know the. Okay, so he drove for 90 km at average speed For this one, what was your average speed? Okay, so we want to know what's the what do you call this, the amount of kilometers left after 90 km. So right there, he then stopped for 20. Okay, so remaining distance is equal to 261 minus 90. This should be 171. Okay, 261 minus 90 is equal to 171 kilometers. Okay, so we know that this whole distance over here is 171 kilometers. All right, so now with this said, we want to know what's the time from this and this. How many hours, right, in this. Okay, so distance we know. So time for meal break. So time traveled to 90 km. Okay, is basically 7:55. Okay, yeah. So time travel. So it's basically 90 divided by 75. Okay, and what would this be? So 90 divided by 75. This is 1.2 hours, right? Or how many hours and minutes? So 1 hour plus 0.2 times 60 minutes. Okay, so multiply this by 60, which is 12. Okay, 0.2 times 60 is 12 minutes. Okay, so like this, which is basically 1 hour and 12 minutes. All right, so now we know that this is 1 hour and 12 minutes. So that means he stopped at, so time stopped, right? Time, yes. So this one not time, like duration, travel first 90 kilometers. Okay, so time stopped is 9:15 a.m. plus 1 hour and 12 minutes, which is equal to 10:27 a.m. That's what I see over here. Okay, so he stopped at 10:17 a.m. over here. So 10:17 a.m. All right. Okay, at the same time, he stopped for 20 minutes break before he moved. Continue. So uh, time stopped for meal break. All right. So time after meal break is 10:27 a.m. plus how many minutes? 20 minutes. 20 minutes, which is equal to 10:47 a.m. Right? So with that said, then what is the time that he traveled? So duration traveled for next 171 kilometers is equal to 12:35 p.m. minus 10:47 a.m. Okay, in this case over here, what we can do is we can just put as 11:95 minus 10:47. Okay, so let me just do that. 11:95 minus 10:47. This would then give us 1 hour and 48 minutes. So 1 hour and 48. No, no. Yeah, minutes. Correct. Okay, so 12:35. So let's double confirm. 10:47 plus 148. Sorry, 148. Yeah, correct. One. Yeah. Yes, correct. Okay, so duration travel for next 171 kilometers is 1 hour and 48 minutes. Okay, what's the average time? So in this case, what's kilometers per hour? So 1 hour 40 minutes is equal to 48 divided by 60, which is 0.8, right? 1.8 hours. 8 hours. So speed after meal break is equal to 171 and then divided by 1.8. Let's see. 171 divided by, let's see, 27. Okay. By 1.8 is equal to 95 kilometers per hour. There you go. So after that is the answer, 95 kilometers an hour. All right, let's move to the next question. Question number 11. Okay, in the figure, AG is parallel to BE, right? So let me just put it here. AG is parallel to BE and AC is parallel to GD. Oops. AC is parallel to GD. In this case over here. So part A, name an angle that is equal to EFD. So EFD, this one, right? So this one is equal to this one. Okay. So GFD. So GFB, sorry. Angle GFB. In this case over here. Okay, pretty straightforward. So next one, find part B, find it GBA. So GBA. All right, so if you look closely over here, right? So we know that GD is parallel to AC, which also means that GF is also parallel to AB in this case. Right, so let's get EFD, right? So angle EFD is equal to angle, right? GFB. I'm just gonna write here lah. GFB, which is basically 180 minus 47 minus 80. 47 minus 80. Okay, and okay, I'll just put the whole workings here so it's easier to work. Okay, so EFD is equal to GFB, which in this case is equal to, let's use our calculator, should be 53. 180 minus 47 minus 80. Okay, this will be 53 degrees. 53 degrees. Okay, so over here, wait, we have 53 degrees here. We have 53 degrees over here. Okay, so since GF is parallel to AB and AG and AG is parallel to BE, so that means GFBA is a parallelogram. Parallelogram. So that means angle GFB is equal to angle GAB, which is also 53 degrees. Okay, over here. All right, so 53 degrees is also here as well. Okay, so now from here we can get GBA angle GBA, which is equal to 180 minus 50 minus 53, because it's a triangle, right? Okay, from here, let's see what will this become. So 180 minus 50 minus 53, this will become 77 degrees. There you go. So that's the answer for GBA is 77 degrees. Yeah, I'm going to put it down over here. All right, last one. Circle the words that describe BCDG in the statement below. Since angle CBG, so angles CBG over here is equal to CDG. Is equal to CDG. Okay, it's not. CBG is equal to CDG. So this is not. Oops. So this is not. Oops. Is, let me just put rectangle. Easier. It's not equal to, because BCD is a trapezium. Right? In this case over here. Right? Okay. Why is it is not? Because is a trapezium, because the only parallel lines are CB and GT. CB angle, GT. Parallelogram needs two two needs all sides to be parallel. Okay, parallelogram. Right. So BCDG is a trapezium because only parallel, because has one pair of parallel lines, which is CB and GD. Parallel needs all sides to be parallel. Two pairs of parallel lines. Okay, with them. Right? That makes sense. Okay, let's move to next question. Question 12. Sin Lee and Mark want to save $164 to buy a gift. Sin Lee started saving earlier and she saves $3 each day. When Sin Lee saved for 20 days, Mark would save $20. When Sin Lee had saved for 26 days, Mark would have saved $44. Mark saves a same amount of each day. How much Mark save each day? So for part A, we know that difference from 20 days to money, difference from 20 days to money saved, difference from 20 days to 26 days is equal to 44 minus 20, which is equal to $24. Okay, so uh, this in between day 20 and day 26 is equal to 26 minus 20 equal to 6 days. Okay, so that means 6 days is equal to $24. Then that means 1 day is equal to 24 divided by 6 is equal to $4. So Mark saves $4 on each day. Okay, part B. How many days would Sin Lee need to save so that they have exactly $164 to buy the gift? Okay, so for part B, we know that Sin Lee has saved for 26 days. Mark will have saved $44. Okay, so on 26th day, right, Sin Lee saved, right? So we know she saved $3 each day, so it's 26 times 3, which is equal to 26 times multiplied by 3, this will be $78. So on 26th day, right, Sin Lee, Sin Lee and Mark saved 78 plus 44. Plus 44. This will equal to $122. 122. Right. So now we know we save 122. Okay. So each day, Sin Lee plus Mark save 4 plus 3 equal to $7 per day. Saved per day. Okay. So remaining is equal to 164 minus 122 equal to 42, right? 164 minus 122, okay, remaining is $42. So number of days remaining, right, is equal to 42 divided by 7, and this is 6 days. Right, so total days is equal to 26 plus 6, which is 32 days. Okay, there you go. So the answer is 32 days. Pam pam. All right, let's move to the next question. This is 12. This is 13. Okay, yeah, shop X sells a dress at $450. Shop Y sells the same dress at 80% of the price. And shop X was the price of shop Y sells the same dress at 80%. So part A, what's the price of the dress in shop Y? Okay, so shop Y price of dress in shop Y is equal to just 80% times, or 450, yeah, 450 times 80%, and this will give you 450 times 80%, dollars 360. There you go, dollars 360. All right, let's move to part B. During the Great Singapore Sale, Shop X and Y offered the same percentage discount on the dress. Shumi bought the dress in Shop Y and paid $82.80 less than the discounted price in Shop X. What was the percentage discount offer? Okay, so we know that she paid dress in Shop Y and paid 800 less than the discounted price in Shop X. Okay, so let's use ratio Shop X and Shop Y. Okay, so for that, you can put 450 is to 360 dollars, 360, oh, sorry, 360. Okay, so in this case over here, next thing is we want to have difference. Why we have difference is because we have $82.88. That's the difference. Okay, so the difference, so 450, 360, and the difference, which is difference is equal to 450 minus 360, which is equal to dollars 90. Okay, so dollars 90, 90 over here. Okay, so yep, that's the difference. So this is like the constant difference lah, right? Constant difference concept. Okay, because none of their prices change. So if the difference goes to, so if difference goes to dollars 82.80, that means uh it even goes to 82, that means the discount is equal to 90 minus 82.80 is equal to, so let's do that, 90 minus 82.8 is dollars 7.20. Okay, so what's the percentage? So percentage discount is equal to 7.20 out of the difference 90, right, times 100. Okay, so divided by 90 times 100, this will give you 8% discount. Okay, there you go. So the answer is 8%. All right. All right, question 14. The diagram below is made out of one semicircle, and two identical quadrants. That's what you see over here. And two identical big quadrants. This big one. Okay. O is the center of the semicircle. The radius of the small quadrant is 10 centimeters. Okay, find the area of the shaded figure. All right. So in this, we want to know, okay, we can know the quadrant. Okay, it's a little bit small, but in this case, we can know the semicircle. So this is 10 centimeters. This is also 10 centimeters as well, right? Okay, so since this 10 and 10, that means diameter, it should be big, diameter of what is this called? Semicircle. Semicircle is equal to 34 minus 10 minus 10. This will then become 14. Right? Let's double check. 34 minus 10 minus 10 is equal to 14 centimeters. Okay, so 14 centimeters will go over here. Okay, and right. Okay, so let's get the area of the semicircle first. So get the easiest to do. So area of semicircle is equal to half times circle, area of circle, which is pi, times radius times radius. Okay, so diameter of semicircle, so radius of semicircle is equal to 14 divided by 2. This will give us 7. So with this, half times 3.14 times 7 times 7. Okay, and this will give us, okay, so 0.5 is half multiplied by 3.14 times 7 or 49. This will give us 76.93 centimeter square. Okay, let's move to the next one. Okay, so we also can know, since 0 is in the middle, that means it's a bit hard to draw, but this is okay, not hard to draw, but it's just very small, 7 centimeters here, and then we have 7 centimeters here. Okay, I think from here we can know what's the quadrant, what do you call this? Small quadrant and the big quadrant. Okay, so area of small quadrant, yeah, area of small quadrant is equal to 1/4, 1 out of 4, okay, times pi times radius, okay, which is basically not half but 1/4. Okay, what's the radius for the quadrant? Is 10 centimeters. Okay, so 10 times 10, okay, and then this will give us, let's go, 1 divided by 4 or 0.25 multiplied by 3.14 times 10 times 10. This will give us 78.5 centimeters square in this case over here. Okay, so we also want to get the area of the small quadrant. So we want to get the radius of the, we want to get the area of the big quadrant. So big quadrant is, the radius is 10 and 7 centimeters. Okay, so area of big quadrant is equal to, same thing, 1/4 times pi times radius. So it's equal to 1/4 times 3.14, and then times, what's the radius? So we say radius of big quadrant is equal to 10, right? So 10 plus 7. Okay, and this will give us 17. So this is times 17 times 17. Okay, so 1/4 times 3.14 times 17 times 17. Okay, this will give us 226,865 centimeter square. Okay, so the, I will say, shaded part quadrant is equal to, we just minus each other, right? Area of big quadrant is 22685, right? And then minus 78.5. Okay, so no, okay, never mind. No, 226.865 minus 78.5. This will give us 148,365 centimeter square. Okay, so now we can get the area, shaded area. Okay, so let's see. Shaded area is equal to semicircle plus 2 times shaded part quadrant. So the semicircle is 76.93. Okay, plus 2 times 148,365. Okay, so let me just copy this. 76.93. Okay, so let's use the calculator. 76.93 plus 2 times 148. This will give us 37.3 centimeter square. So that's the answer. 373.66 centimeter square. Ooh, that's a lot of calculations. Okay. All right, let's move to the next part. Okay, the shaded part, the shaded figure, part B. The shaded figure is used to form a repeated pattern measuring 150 centimeter long to make a border design. What is the parameter of the border design? This whole part over here. Okay, so we have one design over here which is 34. So number of I would say border design, shaded figure is basically just 153 divided by 34. Okay, 153. Okay, and then we divide by 34. This will give us 4.5. Oops. Go 4.5. Okay, so you also have to imagine that there's half added as well. So this is the 0.5. Okay, so this is half of figure, right? Okay, so a couple things is you need to take notice. You also need to know what is the measure of this thing, right? And we also need to know the measure of this thing as well. Okay, so from here you kind of know that this is 7 centimeters, right? So this means this is also 7 centimeters, right? So that means this is also 7 centimeters in this case, right? So actually I should draw it's better to draw a line over here. Let's say 7 centimeters and 7 centimeters as well. Okay, so we need to add 7 centimeters at the end as well. Okay, so with that said, let's get the whole figure thing. Okay, so basically what we want is the perimeter of semicircle which is basically half times 2 times 2, or we can say pi and then times diameter. So that means half times, so pi is 3.14 again, times what's the diameter for the semicircle. In this case is 14 centimeters. Okay, so that means cancel everything. So 0.5 times 3.14 times 14, and this gives you 21.98 centimeters. Okay, so we also want the parameter of two small quadrant, okay, which is basically 2 times bracket 1 over 4 times pi times diameter. Okay, so this will then become 4 times pi is 3.14. So what is the diameter for the small quadrant? It should be so radius of small quadrant, okay, of small quadrant is 10. So that means diameter of small quadrant is equal to 10 times 2, which is 20. So let's put 20 over here. Okay, we can calculate this whole thing. And okay, so the answer to the two small quadrant is equal to this, right? 31.4. So I also did the rest, all right? For the big quadrant is 17. You can refer back to the answer over here, right? Radius of big quadrant. So we calculate the diameter for the big quadrant as well. And you just calculate the parameter. So once you have done that, then you just add them to get the one shaded figure parameter, which is 21.98 from the semicircle plus 31.4 from the two small quadrants. Okay. And then the last one is 53.8 will give you 106.76, right? Then we also need to have this, right? The starting line and the ending line. Okay. So that's something that you might miss out over here. Okay. So that means what we need to do right, is to add this over here, okay, which is basically the 4.5 shaded figure parameter that we have calculated earlier. Because one shaded figure parameter is this, so we need to multiply 4.5, and this will give us 480 as well. So the total border design, I think one mistake that you have not added is the starting line and the ending line, which is basically just plus 7 to the shaded figure parameter, which will give you 494.42 centimeter. That's what I see over here. That's it. So that's part B. All right, let's move on to the next question. Question 15. So figure A shows a 40 centimeter tall sealed container that's made of two cuboids. The top of the container is cuboid with a square base side of 5 centimeters and a height of 25 centimeters. The bottom is a cuboid with rectangular base measuring 32 centimeters by 12 centimeters. The container contains 5.75 liters of water, which can flow freely between the two cuboids through the opening. How much more water could a container hold? So that's part A. What we can do is we can combine these two and then minus the 5.755 liters of water. Okay, so first, I will say top uh, cuboid volume is equal to length times breadth times height. So the length is 5, the breadth is 5, and the height is 25. Okay, so it's basically 25 times 25. So 5 times 5 times 25 times 25. This will give us 625 centimeter cube, or equal to 625 milliliters. So that's the top cuboid volume. Then we have the bottom one. So bottom cuboid height is equal to 40 minus 25. Okay, so 40 minus 25 should be 15, right? 15 cm. So same thing as this. This will be bottom. So bottom cuboid volume is, the length is 32 times 12, the breadth and the height is 15. Okay, so let's calculate. Times 32 times 12. This is 5706. Let me copy this. Cm cube, which is the same as 5760 milliliters. Okay, so now we can calculate the total volume is equal to 5760 plus 625, which is equal to plus 625, 6385. Okay, so 6385 milliliters. So we are left with 5.75. So remaining, so current water is 5.755 liters, if I'm not wrong. Okay, which is equal to 5,755 milliliters. Okay, so that means more water is equal to 6385 minus 5755. Okay, so 6385 minus 5755, 630 milliliters. Right, so that's it. Can contain more, 630 milliliters. Okay, so part B, the container was then turned to the rest horizontally as shown in figure B. Find the height of water level in figure B as well. Right. So we know the container is 5.75. So that means if we lay down like this should be filled up. That's what we see over here. It's only 625 milliliters. Right. So water in, I would say, it's not bottom lah, but bigger cuboid is equal to current water, yeah, minus smaller cuboid, right? So I think it's better to just top uh smaller over here, smaller. This is bottom and bigger cuboid. So smaller is 625. So 5,705 milliliters. Okay. Minus smaller cuboid is 625 milliliters. Okay, and this will give us, so 5755 minus 625. This will give us 5,130 milliliters, or centimeter cube. Okay, so for this, the next thing is we want to get the base over here. So we know 32 and 12 is the base. It has been flipped. So that means 32 and 12. So it has been flipped to that. So the sides over here is 12 and this is 32. So this 32 cm. Okay, and then the height that we see, bottom cuboid height, this will be 15. 15 cm, right? This one. And then the breadth over here, let's make a arrow. The breadth, this breadth is 12 cm. Okay, don't know how to put it, but I'll just put here 12 cm. This one over here. Okay, so in this case, the base area of bigger cuboid is equal to 15 times 12, which is 15 times 12, 180 centimeter square. So now is what? Height of cuboid, height of water is equal to water in bigger cuboid. Okay, and then we divide by base area of bigger cuboid. Okay, so water is 5130 divided by 180, and this gives us 5130 divided by 180, 28.5 centimeter. Okay, so that's the answer for part B. All right, let's move to question number 16. So in the area below, A, B, C, and B, C, D are right angle triangles. So what is it over here? A, B, C. What is that? This one. B, C, D. Oh yeah. Okay, so B, C. I was like, okay, B, C is 20 centimeters. I'm gonna do this right. 20 centimeters. Oops, 20 centimeters. And then EF is 9 centimeters. So this is, let's put here 9 centimeters like this. All right. And then EC, so sorry, EF is 9 centimeters. Oops. So this one over here is 9 centimeters. And then 15 is this one, right? 15 is EC. So I see over here. So this is 15 centimeters. All right. So the ratio length of CD to BA is 5:4. What's the area of BCD? BCD, this whole thing. Right, so we know that the ratio length of CD is 5 units. We'll just put here 5 units, and then BA is equal to 4 units. So we need to get the area of BCD. BCD. Okay, so BCD is equal to area of BCD. So just put right half times base times height, which is basically half. So what's the base is? BC is 20, and then the height is we don't know, right? Which is CD. So we need to find CD. So we know CD is 5 units. If we can get BA 4 units, then we can get CD as well. All right. So from here, CD. So CD is this one. BA is this one. Okay. So first I'm gonna share something, right? Basically, right, this B, right, and then this AEC and this whole thing over here, right? This thing. Okay, so we know that this base over here is 15 centimeters. Okay, and then we know that if I were to make this into a dotted line, and I'm gonna make this as a dotted line, right? So this whole that and that, okay, this whole thing is 15 centimeter for this whole thing over here, right? Okay, so and then we know that this is a right angle triangle as well. Let me just put like this and put it like this. That's what you see over here. Okay, so in essence, right, this whole, let me just group this again. This whole thing, right, is the same area as BEC. So area of BEC, right, area of BEC over here, BEC, okay, so this BEC over here is equal to 9.5 times base times height, which in this case half times base is 20 times height is 9. Okay, so this is simple, 90 centimeter square. That's what I see. So this BEC over here, right? This BEC, right, is the same area as B. So I'm gonna put here B, B, A, and C, like this, right? Because BEC over here has the same area as BAC, because you just have 15 and the height is we don't know what's BA as well, right? So area of BAC is equal to area of ABC with base EC. BAC, yes, ABC, correct, right? Base EC. So the base over here, let me put the base is EC. Okay, right. So now we know that. Then the next thing is, since we know this is 90, let me put here 90 centimeters square in this. Oops, like this. Right. So this over here, 90 centimeters square is the same. Right. Then what we can do is to get a height. So to get the height of triangle ABC is equal to basically 2 times area of triangle, and then we divide it by the base, right? So we know the area here, the height of triangle ABC, which is also AB, right? So we see BA, which is 2 times, so 2 times the area, which is 90. Okay, and then we divide it by what's the base is 15. Okay, so this would then be, let's use the calculator. So 2 times 90 divided by 15. Okay, this will give us 12 centimeters. So in this case over here, AB is 12 centimeter, BA is 12 centimeter. So since BA is equal to 12 centimeter, or And then BA is also 4 units. 4 units. So that means um, 4 units is equal to 12 centimeter. Then 5 units is equal to 12 divided by 4 times 5. This will give us divided by 4. This is 15, all right, times 5, 15 centimeters. Okay, in this case, right? So 15 units, this is CD as CD, right? CD. So now we know the area. So the area of BCD, right? In this case over here is half times base times CD, which is 15, right? And that is equal to half times 20 times 15, 150 centimeter square. There you go. So that's the answer, 150 centimeter square. Okay. So yes, BCE over here is the same. Yeah. Right. So BCE, let me put a line. It's the same. So I see over here. Okay, it's the same. So BCE, area BAC is equal, BEC, sorry. Okay, so area of BEC is equal to area ABC. Okay, right? So since we know the triangle, that's what we see over here. All right, let's move on to the last question. Question 17. Mr. Leong used 3 wooden planks ABC to build a shelf as shown below. The length of the plank A is 5/11 the length of plank B. So the length of plank C is half the total length of plank A and B. Find the value N. Right. So for part A, let's do this. Right. The length of plank A and B is so the length of A is equal to 5 units, and then B is equal to 11 units. Right. 511 length. Right. So A is 5. 11 of B means in units. Right, A is 5 units, B is 11 units in this case over here. Okay, pretty straightforward. We also know that A is equal to 46 plus N, and then B is also equal to 136 plus N. Okay, so now we can have so I'll say BA in units, and then B in units. Okay, so B minus A in units, right, is equal to 11 minus 5, and this will give us 6 units, right? Then we have B minus A in N. So B minus A without the in units, right, is basically 136 plus N minus 46 minus N. This will give us 90. So that means 6 units, right? Let's put this together. So 6 units is equal to 90, right? So now we can already do our calculation. So let's do for 5 units is equal to 90, right? Divided by, or just put 1 unit first lah. Okay, 90 divided by 6, which is equal to 15. 5 units is equal to, oh no, then just put lah A. So A, 5 units, which is A, is equal to, yeah, 15 times 5. This will become 75, right? Oops, 75. So that means for A, so 75 is equal to 46 plus N. Let me put this a bit higher. So N is equal to 75 minus 46, right? And this will equal to, so let's use the calculator, 35 minus 46. This will give us 29. Okay, there you go. So that's your answer. The answer is 29. All right. So what is the width of the shelf? Okay. So for this, we want to get C. So C, C in units, okay, is equal to C units is equal to half, right? Half of A plus B, okay. So which is equal to half times bracket 5 plus 11. 5 plus 11, which is equal to 8. Okay, 8 units, pretty straightforward. All right, so now we get the C in units, which is 8 units. So C is equal to 8 times 15, which is in this case should be 90, right? Let's use our calculator. 8 times 15 should be 120. Okay. So 120 is this whole thing over here, right? This is 120. Oops. Put 120. So basically we want the without the n. So 100 centimeter. So 120 minus n is 29, which is equal to, so 120 minus 29, and this will give us 91 centimeters. Okay, so this 120 centimeters, and this is 91, right? Is it? Yes, 91. So 91 centimeters. C minus n, right? So this is basically C minus n is equal to this. All right, so total shelf length, we can add them up. So it's 91 plus 136. So I'll just put here lah. So total, so width of shelf is equal to 46 plus n plus 136 plus 91. Okay, all right, for this. Okay, and let me just put like that. All right, so what's n? I'm just gonna add in. So n is 29. So all of this plus change to 29. Okay, so let's do that. So 91 plus 46 plus 29 plus 136. This will give us 302 centimeter. Okay, there you go. So that's the answer. 302 centimeters. All right, so that's it for paper 2 Methodist Girls School. If you like this video, give a thumbs up. If you want more of this kind of video, subscribe down below and comment down what are the things you want me to show you next. See you in the next one. Bye bye.